My best friend convinced me not to go on exchange so she wouldn't lose me. A year later, she left for Paris without saying goodbye. So I booked the same flight, sat in her row, and let her see who I came with. I'm Tessa, 22, female, and I didn't sleep a single hour the night before her flight. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw her face. Her smile when she made me promise I wouldn't go to Barcelona. Her voice saying, "I'd miss you too much, Tess. I'd fall apart without you." I saw the group selfie we took the night of her fake going-away dinner, before I knew she was leaving, before I knew she'd already applied, before I found out she was flying to Paris without saying goodbye. She was my best friend. No, worse, she was my person. Her name is Emily, 22, female. We met sophomore year at orientation. Me, wide-eyed and introverted. Her, this magnetic whirlwind in denim shorts and too much eyeliner. She said my name sounded like something from a romance novel. I said hers sounded like every girl who broke my heart in high school. We were inseparable. Late-night junk food marathons, crying on rooftops, impromptu road trips. Everyone thought we were dating for months. Honestly, I thought maybe we should have been. But she always had a boyfriend, or three, guys she got bored of after 2 weeks, who couldn't keep up with her chaos. She used to joke that I was the only constant in her life. I believed her. I was the one who sat with her through her mom's second divorce. I was the one who drove 4 hours to get her when she broke down crying in a Walmart parking lot. I missed my own brother's graduation to stay with her when she got food poisoning before finals. That kind of friend. All in. Ride or die. So when I got the exchange offer to Barcelona, I was over the moon. Art history, culture, 6 months by the beach, I'd worked my ass off to qualify. I ran straight to our dorm with the letter in my hand, practically vibrating, and she looked gutted. "Wait," she said, "you're leaving?" I said yes. It was everything I'd wanted since freshman year. She didn't smile. She sat down on the bed and went silent for a full minute. Then she said, "Please don't go." At first I laughed, because she says dramatic shit all the time. But then I saw her eyes. Wet, serious, terrified. "I'll lose you," she whispered. "You know how bad I get when you're not around. You're like my grounding person. What if something happens? What if I screw everything up without you?" And God help me, I stayed. I turned down Barcelona, told the exchange office it wasn't the right time, told my professors I needed to be here for family reasons, lied to everyone except her. I stayed for her. We spent the next year like always, studying, clubbing, crying, fighting, making up, except things started feeling off. She flaked more, ignored my texts, started getting secretive, and then one day, her roommate let it slip. "She's moving to Paris, right?" I laughed. "What? Yeah. Didn't she tell you? Her grad program starts next week." My stomach turned to ice. She didn't tell me. Not a word. Not a hint. Just gone. When I checked her social media, it was locked down. No goodbye post, no farewell dinner, just a tagged photo from the airport. Her and a guy I didn't recognize, smiling. So I bought a ticket. Same airline, same day, same flight number. I paid extra for seat selection and made sure I was in her row. And I didn't come alone. The boarding pass felt like a live wire in my palm. I stared at her name on the manifest. Row 19, seat B, and mine just a few inches away. 19A window seat. Her favorite. Every breath I took felt shaky, wired with rage and betrayal and something harder to name. Not heartbreak exactly. More like being gutted by someone you didn't think was capable of holding a knife. I hadn't told anyone what I was doing. Just grabbed my passport, packed a carry-on, and called in every favor I had to get on that plane. I didn't even know what I was going to say. I just knew I had to be there when she saw me. I needed her to feel it. The shock, the weight of what she did. She got on the plane late. Of course she did. Always the last one to rush in with too many bags and some chaotic apology. I was already in my seat, hoodie up, pretending to scroll my phone. Heart pounding so hard I could barely see. She stopped in the aisle and froze. I didn't look up at first. I let her stand there with that horrible realization washing over her. I wanted her to simmer in it. She said my name like it was a ghost. "Tess?" I finally looked up, slow and blank. "Hey, Em." And then I turned to the man sitting in the middle seat between us. "Babe?" I said, voice soft but loud enough. "Can you help me with my headphones?" Liam looked up and smiled like he'd known me forever, which technically he hadn't. We'd met 3 months ago. Started as a rebound, maybe. But he was kind, attentive, and very, very attractive. Model hot, but with a quiet, steady thing that made me feel safe, honest. She blinked at him, at me, at the seat. "That's my spot," she said finally. He looked confused. "Sorry, I thought—" "Oh, babe, do you want me to switch?" "No," I said quickly. "She can take the aisle." Emily didn't move for a moment. I saw her scanning me like she didn't know who I was anymore. Which made sense, because I wasn't the girl who stayed behind anymore. I wasn't her emotional support pet. I wasn't the safety net she could drop and pick back up. She slid into the aisle seat slowly, hands stiff. I watched her try to process it. Me on her flight, sitting in her favorite spot with someone else where she used to be. "You're going to Paris?" she said finally. "Yep," I said, without looking at her. Figured it was time to stop missing things for people who don't even say goodbye. Liam raised an eyebrow at me, like that wasn't a loaded statement, but he didn't say anything. Emily swallowed. Her hands were trembling as she buckled in. "Tess, I didn't—" "You did," I cut in, flat. We didn't talk for the rest of boarding, but when the plane lifted off, I saw her hand twitch like she wanted to reach across Liam. Like she still thought she had access. She didn't, and I wasn't done. Not even close. Emily always used to hum during takeoff, this nervous little melody she didn't even realize she did. I remember once, junior year, she was humming it on a bus to New York, and I thought, God, I could spend the rest of my life knowing everything about this girl. She didn't hum this time. She was dead silent, rigid in her seat, cheeks blotchy, nails digging into the armrest like turbulence might rip the sky open. Good. Let it shake her. I leaned toward Liam close enough to make it obvious. "Can you pass me my charger, babe? Bottom pocket of my backpack." He smiled and reached down without hesitation. God, he was easy to be around. No games, no guilt tripping, no emotional blackmail dressed up as friendship. I caught Emily watching us from the corner of her eye. She looked like she wanted to scream. Instead, she laughed. Quiet, fake, brittle. "So, you're going to Paris. Random, huh?" I didn't respond. She tried again. "Is this like a vacation or—" Liam answered for me. "We're staying for a few weeks. She's always wanted to go." Figured it was time. Emily's lips parted like she might interrupt. But she didn't. Just blinked fast and nodded. "That's cool," she muttered, eyes forward. "That's really cool." There was this long, painful silence after that, the kind where the air feels thick and no one knows where to look. I kept my face turned toward the window, heart beating out a war drum in my chest. She didn't get to do this. She didn't get to act normal. She didn't get small talk. And then, because she can never sit with discomfort without trying to twist it into control, she pulled out her phone and opened Instagram, just loud enough for the shutter sound to click as she took a selfie. I didn't look. I knew the move. It was her oldest trick. Post a story. Look unbothered. Control the narrative. 5 minutes later, I saw her angle the screen toward Liam and me, pretending to scroll, pretending to laugh. I watched her press record. "Delete that," I said, not even turning my head. She froze. "What? You're filming us? I'm not. Jesus, Tess. Paranoid much?" Liam glanced between us. "Everything okay?" I turned fully to her then. Let her see the full weight of me. Not the Tess she'd shaped and softened. The version of me that stayed quiet while she tore up every good thing we had and blamed me for bleeding. "Everything's not okay," I said. "But keep filming. Maybe your followers can explain why you left without a word after begging me to stay." Her face cracked. Just for a second. Then she grabbed her phone and turned away like a scolded child. I didn't stop looking at her, because I wanted her to feel it. That thing she always did to me, that quiet power trip, I was holding it now, and I wasn't going to let go. She cracked 2 hours into the flight. Not a breakdown exactly. Emily doesn't cry like normal people. She implodes in little dramatic bursts, passive-aggressive sighs, fidgeting, picking at her cuticles until they bleed. She thrives on chaos, but only when she's the one holding the match. So when she unbuckled her seatbelt mid-flight and practically lunged toward the bathroom, I wasn't surprised. What had surprised me was the way she slammed the door so hard the flight attendant actually walked over. Liam glanced at me, brows raised. "You want me to say something?" he whispered. I shook my head. Let her stew. 5 minutes passed, then 10. When she finally emerged, her eyeliner was smudged and she'd clearly been crying. She walked right past us, didn't even look at me, sat back down, pulled her hood up, and stared at the seatback screen like it held the secrets of the universe. We didn't speak again until landing, and even then, it was only because she followed us through the airport. "Wait!" she hissed behind us as we exited customs. Tess, can you just— please, stop?" I did. Only because I wanted her to say it. I wanted to hear the apology, the excuse, the justification. Instead, she said, "Why would you do this?" Her voice was wrecked, raw and high-pitched, like someone had finally unplugged the performance. "You mean book the same flight? Or come to Paris at all?" I said flatly. She looked between me and Liam. "You're punishing me." "I'm living my life," I said. "Isn't that what you wanted?" "That's not fair." "Fair?" I laughed, sharp. "You begged me to stay. I missed out on a whole semester abroad, and you left without even telling me. You think fair lives here?" Emily opened her mouth, closed it. Then she whispered, "You were everything to me." "You don't ghost everything to you," I said, low. "You don't throw it away and pretend it's a clean break." Liam touched my back gently. "Come on, babe, let's go." I nodded. We started walking toward the taxi line. That's when she shouted it. Is he a replacement? She screamed across the terminal. Is that what this is? Some petty revenge hookup? Heads turned. People slowed. The whole terminal froze for a second. Liam stopped walking. His jaw tightened, but he didn't say anything. I turned around slowly. Let the silence stretch. He's someone who shows up, I said clearly. Something you never learned how to do. Emily stood there, completely exposed, breathing like a cornered animal. Her suitcase handle dangling from one hand, mascara streaked down both cheeks. And I swear to God, she still looked like she wanted to win, but I was already gone. Update 1. South. Remember when I said Emily wasn't done? I really underestimated how far she'd go. After the airport showdown, Liam and I got to our hotel, a cozy little place in the Marais district. Nothing fancy, just warm light, old stone walls, and that heavy French silence that makes everything feel cinematic. I was still riding the high of finally saying what needed to be said. I thought maybe finally I had closure. We were halfway through unpacking when reception called. There's a guest insisting she knows you, the concierge said, voice laced with awkwardness. Should we ask her to leave? Before I could answer, I heard the shouting from the lobby. Tessa, I just want to talk. Please, Tess. Liam put a hand on my shoulder. You don't have to. I know, I said, but I want to see who she brought, because I already knew it wasn't just her. I went down the elevator alone. When the doors opened to the lobby, there she was, standing like a tragic painting, arms folded across her chest, mascara still smudged from the flight. And next to her, Jason. Her just a friend from her lab. The guy she swore had nothing to do with why she ghosted me. I hadn't seen his face in person before, only in the background of a blurry photo someone tagged her in on campus. Now here he was. Smug, quiet, awkward in that too nice way that only makes it worse. You followed me here with him, I said, not even trying to lower my voice. Emily looked like she was on the verge of hysterics. I needed closure. I didn't think you'd come here with someone else. You were mine, Tessa. You were always mine. Jason shifted awkwardly, clearly regretting every decision that led him to that moment. Yours? I repeated, blinking. You left me like a used tissue. You lied. You begged me to stay for you, then vanished like I was a seasonal job. She stepped forward, frantic now. You don't understand what it's been like without you. I thought about you every day. I didn't tell you, because I knew you'd be hurt. You didn't tell me because it made it easier to forget me. I snapped. And now you're here. What? To mark your territory? To guilt me into staying broken while you play happy couple? Jason looked at her, really looked at her, and I saw something shift in his face, like maybe he just realized who she really was. You didn't tell me she didn't know, he said quietly. That was it. Emily's whole posture crumbled. You said it was mutual, Jason added, voice low, that she agreed to let you go. I stared at her. You lied to him too? She tried to speak, failed. I turned to the concierge. Can you please escort these two out? He didn't hesitate. I didn't look back as they were walked out the door. I didn't want to see if she cried. I didn't want to see if she looked sorry, because it didn't matter anymore. Back upstairs, Liam handed me a glass of wine and said, well, that was dramatic. I just laughed. Not because it was funny, but because it was finally over. Or so I thought. Because later that night, Emily posted something. A reel. Split screen. On one side, a clip of us laughing from last year. On the other, me walking away from her in the hotel lobby. Caption, when your soulmate forgets you. She tagged me. And Paris. So now it's public. And now I'm mad. So here's what I learned that night. If you ever want to see a manipulator implode in real time, take away her audience. Emily tagging me in that reel, that was her trying to wrestle back the narrative. Her version of damage control. A last-ditch attempt to make me look like the villain. Cold, distant, ungrateful for all her love. She posted it at 2:13 a.m., probably thinking I'd be asleep. I wasn't. I was sitting on the hotel balcony, wine glass in hand, watching the Paris skyline flicker and boil under the haze. I saw the tag notification come through, watched the likes crawl up, saw comments from old mutuals back home. She looks devastated. What happened? Wait, didn't she and Tessa live together? Ugh, friendship breakups hit harder than relationships. I didn't respond. Not at first, but I did DM one person, a girl named Caitlin. We hadn't spoken in over a year, not since the week Emily convinced me Caitlin was toxic and jealous and secretly wanted to replace her. Guess who had been in the reel's comments? Caitlin replied in 5 minutes flat. I knew she'd pull something. You okay? I told her I was better than okay. I told her I needed a favor. And Caitlin? Bless her chaotic, grudge-holding soul. She still had everything. Screenshots, texts, voice memos, whole conversations where Emily bragged about convincing me to stay, only to call me a deadweight roommate a month later. Her talking about Paris as her fresh start? saying I'd be too emotionally needy to handle the move. The kicker? A screen recording of Emily telling someone at a party, she thinks I didn't apply. She thinks I stayed for her. Isn't that insane? It was all there, just sitting in Caitlin's phone, waiting to burn. So I made a choice. I asked Caitlin to post it all. No tagging, no context, just truth. She uploaded it to her story that morning, captioned simply, "Context matters." And it spread. People started messaging me, old classmates, dorm friends, even one of Emily's old flings who DM'd, "Wow, didn't think she'd stoop that low. You good?" The best part? Emily's reel disappeared by noon. She texted me that afternoon. Not a call, a text, short, flat. "You didn't have to do that." I didn't respond because I wasn't done. We had one more event to attend, a university mixer hosted for international graduate students. Emily's name was on the invite list. So was mine. Liam wasn't technically invited, but Caitlin pulled strings. She was working the door. And when Emily walked in, dressed to the nines, fake smile painted on, she didn't see me at first. Not until the crowd parted. And she saw Liam, standing beside me, arm around my waist, Caitlin beside us, raising her glass. And then I looked Emily straight in the eyes, tilted my head, and smiled. "You remember Caitlin, right?" Emily's face? It didn't just fall, it shattered. I don't think I'll ever forget the sound of her heels that night. Click, 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 like a goddamn countdown to detonation. Emily stood across the room, red-lipped and trembling, frozen between 100 conversations and the one moment that ruined her script. She had spent a year painting herself as the victim, the abandoned friend, the loyal one left behind. And now she was looking at a room full of people watching me smile, watching her flinch. She walked toward us like she was stalking prey, slow, deliberate, eyes darting between Liam, Caitlin, and me. And then she did it. "Wow," she said, loud enough to silence half the room. Didn't realize this was a revenge tour. People stopped mingling. Heads turned. It was like someone hit pause on the whole party. I set down my drink. "Emily," I said calmly, "go home." She laughed, high and shrill. "Oh no, we're not doing that. You think you get to burn my name across campus and then waltz in here like a damn goddess? You think you're the victim in this?" She gestured to the people around us. "You all think she's this poor, betrayed angel, but you don't know her like I do." Caitlin crossed her arms. "We do now, thanks to those voice memos." Emily spun on her. "Oh please, you're just bitter I replaced you." Caitlin didn't flinch. "You didn't replace me. You used me, just like you used Tess, just like you're trying to use this." Emily's voice cracked. "I loved her. I was trying to protect her, by lying to me," I finally said. "By ghosting me the second Paris accepted you? By calling me a dead weight behind my back while I sobbed in the shower, thinking I wasn't enough for you?" The silence after that hit like thunder. Emily's mouth opened, then closed. Then she did what Emily always does when control slips. She exploded. "This is bullshit!" she screamed, grabbing a wine glass off the nearest table and hurling it at the wall. It shattered into 100 glittering pieces. "You're all fake. You loved me, Tessa. You told me you did." My breath caught. For a second, just a second, I felt that old ache again. The ghost of what we used to be. The sleepovers. The late-night rooftop talks. Her laugh in my ear, but that's all it was. A ghost. I took a step toward her. "I did love you," I said. Quiet but clear. "And that's why I'll never let you do this to me again." The event coordinator approached. "Ma'am," she said to Emily, "you need to leave." Emily was panting, staring around like the walls were closing in. No one moved to help her. Not Jason. Not the girls who used to orbit her like planets. She was alone. Truly, finally, painfully alone. And I felt nothing. No pity, no guilt, just peace. Update 2. Okay, deep breath. I wasn't going to share this part. Honestly, I thought the story ended in that hotel lobby. I thought Emily's scream, the glass shattering, the stunned silence, that was the finale. But this morning, housekeeping knocked. "Miss Tessa," the woman said, gently, holding a cream-colored envelope. "This was left at the front desk. The guest asked for it to be delivered to your room. No return name. Just my first name in that handwriting I knew too well. Loopy, dramatic, a little try-hard like everything else she did." I stared at it for 10 minutes before I opened it. Inside was a single sheet of paper. No tears, no perfume, just ink. Here's what it said. "Tessa, I know nothing I say will fix what I broke, but you were never just my best friend. You were my anchor, my mirror, my other heartbeat, and that scared the hell out of me. I thought if I left without a goodbye, I could avoid the pain. I thought if I made it messy, you'd hate me, and hating me would be easier for you than missing me. But I miss you every damn day. I see something beautiful and want to tell you about it. I hear a stupid song and still reach for my phone. I still check our shared notes app like an idiot, even though I know you deleted it. I didn't stay, because I didn't think I deserved to have someone like you in my life forever. So I left first. I hope he's good to you. I hope you're happy, and if you ever feel like forgiving me, I'll be here. Always, Emily. Yeah, I read it once. And then I walked to the tiny courtyard behind the hotel, lit a match, and watched it curl into ash in the same spot she once made me promise I'd never leave her. Because that's what she never understood. Forgiveness isn't about who begs the best. It's about who earned the right to stay. She didn't. Hmm. Liam met me back in the room later, and I didn't even tell him about the letter. I didn't need to. He kissed my forehead, passed me my favorite scarf, and said, "Ready for the catacombs?" And just like that, life moved forward. No more ghost stories. No more letters. No more begging someone to be who they swore they already were. I didn't expect to see him again. Not in Paris. Not halfway through a museum tour with Liam holding my hand, both of us laughing quietly at the audio guide, mispronouncing Rodin. But there he was, James, Emily's ex from freshman year. The one she always said ruined her ability to love properly. The one she used as a cautionary tale. Don't ever fall in love with someone like James. She'd warned me once, drunk on sangria and nostalgia. He makes you think he sees you and then disappears. And yet here he was, strolling past the statue of the thinker like he wasn't the ghost of 100 stories I'd been fed over late-night popcorn and mascara-streaked breakdowns. I froze. Liam noticed immediately. "You okay?" he asked, his fingers brushing mine. I nodded slowly, still watching James walk with a girl I didn't recognize. Brown hair, scarf like mine. She laughed at something he said and leaned into his shoulder. He didn't look like a villain. He looked like a guy who'd moved on. I wasn't going to say anything, and I should have walked away. But then James looked up and saw me, and I watched the color drain from his face. He said something to the girl and walked straight over. "Tessa," he said, voice soft, unsure. I wasn't expecting, "Wow, hi." I stared at him for a second. Then I said, "She told me you wrecked her, that you broke her heart so bad she couldn't trust anyone after." James let out a slow breath. "Yeah, she told me you moved to Barcelona and ghosted her." My stomach dropped. "What?" "She said you abandoned her, said she cried for weeks." He wasn't lying. That panicked, devastated expression on his face. It was real, just like mine. "She begged me not to go," I said. "So I didn't." James blinked. "Holy shit." "She left without a word," I added. "Posted a photo with her new boyfriend from the airport. That's how I found out." He ran a hand through his hair, visibly shaken. "She told me you broke her heart." Liam stepped beside me, just close enough to be protective. "Sounds familiar." James glanced at him, then back at me. "I should have known. That's what she does." We stood there, silent. Two survivors of the same slow-moving hurricane. "I used to hate you," I said, "just because of what she said." He smiled, sad and understanding. "I used to hate you too." We laughed, just for a second. And then I said, "Are you okay?" He nodded. "Now I am. She doesn't have claws in me anymore." I got that. Because neither did she in me. We parted ways, no drama, no trauma, just a mutual nod that said, we made it out. That night, I got a DM from an old college classmate. "You were right, she's spiraling, just posted a photo of you and called you a narcissist. Comment section is a war zone." I didn't respond. I didn't need to, because I was on a rooftop in Montmartre, sipping wine with a man who never made me feel small. Because I just met the guy she called her biggest heartbreak, and he told me she lied to both of us. Because this wasn't her story anymore. It was mine. It was supposed to be over. I had everything packed, plane tickets booked. Liam and I were heading to Italy next. Just a few more days in Paris and then a new city, new chapter. I was brushing my teeth when my phone buzzed. A weird notification. Shared note updated. For her. It stopped me cold. Because that was our old notes app. Back when Emily and I would co-write dumb poetry, grocery lists, dreams for our someday apartment. I'd deleted it off my phone months ago, but she still had access, and apparently she still used it. I hesitated, then tapped it open. Only one line had been added. "I still dream about you in every city, but in every dream, you're walking away." My whole body went still. It wasn't public. It wasn't a message. It was a breadcrumb, a ghost she couldn't help but send into the void, hoping I'd notice, hoping I'd ache. I stared at it for a long time, because the truth is, I do still dream about her sometimes. Not the real her, but the version I loved. The girl who stayed up making playlists and traced my knuckles when she was sleepy. The one who promised we'd grow old in a bookstore cafe by the sea. That Emily? She died the day the airport photo went up. But this one? The one who gaslit and twisted and exploded when control slipped? She didn't deserve even a sentence of me. So I added my own line beneath hers. "Good. Keep walking." And then I hit remove from shared permanently. Deleted the app, blocked her number, removed her tag from every photo, every post, every fragment of my life. It's funny. You always think closure comes from a conversation, from yelling or crying or one final "I'm sorry," but some